That's
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special Sunday edition of Red Valkyrie Presents. I'm, of course, Shae the Red with my amazing co-host, Cy. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome on this lovely Sunday, and let me just say that watching you get into this cosplay, just like yesterday, was an absolute delight. So we have that to look forward to.
You're the worst.
I'm complimenting you, and you hate me. That's
yes,
how
I
this
do.
goes.
That's how it works.
Nice.
That's how it works. We have a really, really special show today. We are so excited. So, first off, I'm going to introduce my very good friend, Joe Archey. How are you doing, Joe?
good. How are you doing? Thanks for having us on.
Of course. I mean, how could we not? Joe and I have been BSing back and forth on Twitter for years now. I don't know how long.
Since the beginning of this whole.
Right? Like I feel like you and I have been talking since like 2019 at least. Maybe 2020, early 2020. But Joe and I, we talk about all kinds of stuff. Really good buds. And Joe just so happens to be helping out manage this amazing project with his dad, of course,
And
Rob
coloring.
Archey. And coloring. Yes. Rob, how are you?
Doing fine, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And then saving the best for last, because that's why probably y'all are here. Let's be real. You're not here for my cosplay. You're here because we have Sam Jones. How are you doing, Sam?
Great. Good to be with you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We are so excited to hear more about this project. But before we do, I feel very weird talking to you as a disembodied voice. So I feel like we need to do the cosplay reveal so I can be a person.
Good.
Yes.
Because if you don't do that, then I was going to do this the whole time.
Just talk to us from behind the comic book.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I was going to match you.
That's fair. That's fair, sir. All right.
Turnabout is
Let's
fair
do this
play.
then.
Okay.
Metamorphosis is completed, sir.
Shae the Red.
Has now become
Awesome.
Bam!
There it is.
So, I gotta say, I'm digging the Farrah Fawcett hair. Really kind of liking the style.
That's my princess.
Yeah. Yep, it sure is. It's so for
Wow.
anyone who has missed it, I'm the very concerned looking blonde down the bottom.
Cool.
Start looking.
Very nice. Very nice.
Okay. So we're here because we have an amazing project that has the one and only Flash, Sam Jones, saving the galaxy because, why not? Why not?
He saved the universe. The galaxy needs a little more help, though. So here we go.
Right?
Here we go.
So who wants to kind of tell us, because I was going over the project and I gotta be honest, I was really excited because you can tell how excited y'all are with how long this project's been in the works and how long you guys have been kind of communicating and going back and forth and the things that you're planning on doing. But I gotta say, Joe, there's nothing on here about what the book is covering, about what it's all about.
What?
Well, yeah, come on, Joe.
What?
So-
What did I do? Wait a second.
So it talks about a lot of interesting parts about, where you guys all have come from and everything about it. But I want to know, what exactly is Sam J. Jones Saves the Galaxy? What is the story?
You got a good
Sam-
name for a guy.
Sam J. Jones is minding his own business, as always. No busybody, right? But an emissary, let me give him my pitch. An emissary from a distant planet comes to Earth and warns of the impending doom of his planet and his galaxy, as well as ours. The planet Valoris is in need of a champion, received a solitary signal from Earth, that being the classic sci-fi film starring the rugged action adventure star Sam J. Jones. Unbeknownst to Sam, he has become the living embodiment of the hope and resistance against an evil emperor. The alien visitor pleads with the President of the United States to dispatch the Silver Screen Warrior to return with them to save the galaxy as they know it. Now, between making movies and traveling, he has a family, he has his fans. He's a pretty busy guy. Sam spends his time doing that. Little does Sam know that this fan from a faraway galaxy will soon call him into action. Will Sam answer the call? Will Sam save every one of us? Find out when you read Sam J. Jones Saves the Galaxy. There you go.
Oh,
Well, there
that
it
was
is.
amazing.
Sounds like a radio ad from the 50s.
Right.
Seriously, I feel like that was like when you watch the old school Batman, you know, where you had like the Bat-Tusi and everything. Like that's exactly like next time on Batman. Like it was
Stay
fantastic.
tuned.
Yeah, they're
That's why that's why Rob gave it that retro look, that 30s,
Mhm.
40s look.
Sure.
So
We wanted to get Shae. I wanted to get in that little bit of that Art Deco look,
Yeah.
the look of Dale Arden back. I kind of modeled the princess after the girl that played Dale Arden. I can't remember her
Okay.
name right now, but back in with
Melody Anderson.
Buster Crab, and just things like that. And they refer to space or rocket ships and ray guns and just things like that, just for a good time.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, and I've got to ask. So this one right here, the top panel that you've got,
That's page
with
one.
the- with the Leia making sure that she's getting a really good selfie with Sam Jones in the background. I feel like this must have like actually happened. Was this taken from real life, from your actual appearance at a con at some point? Because I feel like it had to have been.
Well,
Go ahead.
funny enough, in London, Lou Ferrigno and we had our tables next to each other, and
No way.
yeah, we do that a lot.
That's
matter of
awesome.
fact, I've had Lou Ferrigno, the Hulk, Sam J. Jones / Gordon, and then on my right was Kevin Sorbo, Hercules. So
Oh, nice.
a couple of superheroes together. While we were in London, a couple of fans in front of us started to fight. So Lou was already up on his feet, but I don't know if I jumped the table like that, but I came out of my table very quickly and I to help break that fight up. Of course, when the tabloids got a hold of it, they actually said that Lou and I got into a fist fight.
Yeah.
So when that article came out, I said, Lou, let's not deny it, because we can use this. So all
Right.
the 10, 20, 50, 100 Comic Cons that we do together, and we have our tables together, the fans think we're going to get in a fist.
There's going to be beef. You just send dirty looks at each other every now and then.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Oh my gosh, that is like I can only imagine what happened with those two cosplayers sitting there like getting in some petty little fight over something probably very stupid, and all of a sudden you have Lou Ferrigno and Sam Jones like break it up. I'd be like, I am sorry. Please don't kill me.
Yeah, that's funny.
We have
but
a
also-
request from the chat.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and a lot of people don't know that part of what I do also, other than I've been a Marine for 51 years, in my mind, I'm still a Marine. I've only been an actor for 45 years. And also with my military background, when the film industry is slow, then I run security operations in what we call high-risk environments. So in layman's terms, I protect people from I protect good people from bad people, and so I run security operations. So part of this deal is, yes, I'm a security consultant.
Yep.
professional, and so Rob incorporated my skill sets in this area as well.
Awesome.
So I'm so happy that you brought both of those points up, because when we were going through, so I'm not going to lie, I know the Flash theme song and I know about Ming, but I haven't actually seen the Flash movie, which I know is sacrilege. And I'm sorry, everybody, but you know that Shae doesn't lie. I haven't seen it. We're fixing that today. Cy has decided that we are renting and watching it tonight, after this show, because I need to know. Yes. Flash Gordon.
The full 4K restoration that they did, that apparently looks amazing. I haven't seen that. I've seen the original.
Yeah. Well, Cy, they brought Michael Hodges back, the original director. They brought him in to redirect, remaster this film into 4K. So, it's believe it or not, a lot of people, if you ask me about the original Flash Gordon, I refer to it as a visual masterpiece, because it's hard to match film capturing the production design. Remember, we had the same production designer as, and you guys will appreciate this with the cause. We had the same production designer who did all the Fellini movies. His name is Danilo Donati. And so what he used, we didn't have any computer generated stuff. What he used was Ming, for instance, Ming's costume was 30,000 hand sewn sequin beads. That was his costume. So when light and film hit that, you say, well, how in the world can you match that? Well, with 4K, I believe it's even been enhanced.
See, and that's
what I read in the reviews of the 4K, is that they really brought out the color. That it's one of the most colorful films that people have ever seen, and I believe it. Yes. Go ahead, Shae.
So what I was gonna say is, so I've been doing cosplay, and a lot of the cosplay that I buy, I end up buying pieces and altering them to fit whatever we do. For the first time, actually, just a couple weeks ago, I made a cosplay top from scratch, and I was hand stitching on a, gold rope edging, and can I just say, like, that I almost pulled my hair out. I can't imagine 30,000 individual sequins. Like, no, negative. That is so much work. It is so meticulous and so detailed to be able to sit there and do that. But when you're doing really good cosplay, like when I do eventually my big Barda, I want to have full scale mail because I'm doing the Eric Canetti version. So I want it to look iridescent, which means I'm hitting scale mail pieces with various kinds of paint to mimic that watercolor iridescent look that he had. It's literally probably going to take me a year or two to build that cosplay out. But when it's done, it is going to be a marvel to see. And so that's the goal, is to make everyone's jaw drop.
There you go.
I'm
sure it will. I'm sure it will.
Shae, full disclosure here. Remember, Dino De Laurentiis produced this, and of course, I told you he brought in Danilo Donati. But so what? Who did Donati bring in? He brought in 125 Italians from Rome as the wardrobe people who were. He brought them from Rome to London, and had them in this gigantic room. What were they doing? Sewing. Okay, hand sewing, exactly. So I'm gonna encourage you, Shae, to delegate a little bit of that. Okay.
So I will delegate for all of my other cosplays, but my big Barda one I refuse to, because I want to be able to enter it in Comic-Con contests, and there's certain Comic-Cons, like New York Comic-Con contests, you have to be the one that made it. Since I have to be the one that made it, I'm going to learn how to scale mail, and I'm going to cry. But it'll be fine. When it's done, it'll be amazing.
That's so cool.
But the part that I was really excited about is you're the one that brought up your military service as well as working security. Some people don't know this on the channel. If you haven't followed us for a while, you may not know, I'm actually active duty military. I've got 3 more years before I retire.
I did not know that.
Yes, so I'm active duty Air Force.
Oh, fantastic.
And the thing that I find really funny is even me, like I'm not a small woman. I'm 6'1", right? Wow. So yeah, you can't tell because I'm sitting. But when I'm around normal women, I look like somebody sized me up in Photoshop in every possible aspect. And you know what, Cy? It is the chair force because I read my contract and went, which one's going to let me go to college and not send me overseas? That
Air
was the one that I went
boot
with.
Camp. That's the one I'm bitter about. Bastard.
And it was amazing. I put my canteen in the air vents and I had cold water in the morning. So ingenuity in the chair force.
That's amazing.
But the thing that I find really funny is even like when you're military, there's just a different mentality you have when bullshit pops off around you, right? So you're talking about running a security company. To me, that makes the most sense because I've been at, you know, I've told this story a few times on channel. I've been at like holiday parties where airmen get a little bit too tipsy and then I'm breaking up fights with junior enlisted because I'm like, hi, I'm higher ranking than you. I'm telling you to get in a cab and go home, or I'm going to have words with you.
It's
in uniform
and imposing and sober.
And I was dressed as an elf, so it was a little bit extra scary. But the thing that I find the funniest is when we had one of these parties, I had already gotten one airman into a cab because he was far too intoxicated. And then while I was standing out there, 2 other airmen decide they're going to have words with each other, to which it was like, hi, go home. And they're like, oh, yeah, whatever. And they keep going. And I was like, okay, NCO told you to go home. And I was like, so? And they were like, we're very sorry, ma'am. Have a wonderful night. And left. And I was like, it's so easy. It's so easy. When they're military and they realize, like, I will drag you in front of our mutual first sergeant and we will have words about how you behaved out in public. Yeah. They all listen. The people who don't listen are the people who were at the party next to us, where 2 people from New Jersey decided that being from Jersey was a reason to fight for some reason. And decided to have a brawl out in front of us where they're getting in each other's faces. A bunch of people who are also very drunk are trying to break it up. And I'm standing back going, this is a civilian matter. I don't have to get involved, until I watched one of my tech sergeants jump in and he was too drunk to be able to do anything helpful. So then it turned into, now I have to stop this. Not realizing I'm dressed like an elf, kind of forgetting the fact that I'm female. I ended up popping in the middle of this, put an armbar in some dude's chest, walked him back several paces, and while he's trying to scream around me, I was like, you're dealing with me now. And he looked up and just went, I'm very sorry. And then I went, I'm dressed like an elf. I had a sweater on. It had Will Ferrell on it from Elf, and it said, smiling is my favorite, and it lit up. And I just told this guy he was dealing with me. And he was so scared because I don't think he knew if I was going to snap or not. And I feel like that's just something that happens when you're military. You react, and then you're like, oh, I now get the dynamic of what I was in. So I was just like, I don't feel like dealing with this right now. I've already had to deal with 2 people. I'd want to fight someone if I lived in Jersey too. Eric,
so,
that's fair.
AKA Air Force Military Police.
Yeah, pretty much what I turned into. It was ridiculous. And of course, all of the officers standing nearby were like, "Well, that was amazing." I was like, "Where were you? Like, why was I the one doing this? You have more rank and power than I do, and I'm the one that has to break it up." That's just, you know what? That's the life of the NCO grunt. That's what we do, right? So I really am kind of excited about this, especially after Rob's very theatrical pitch that he has given us, because I feel like not only is this a really interesting concept for like the first comic, but like, are you guys hoping that this is going to be something that you can continue on for several issues, or are you doing a one and done?
Well, it's a one and done right now, but it leaves the door open for many adventures. So we'll have to get together with Sam and see what he wants to do, maybe.
Yeah, well, we'll see how many, we
have to sell this book first.
Here. Let's get people supporting this book so that we can, hey, you never know.
I'm so excited because it's my first one. Number two, for those who don't know, it's actually a 54-page graphic novel.
That is
so
nice and
very
beefy.
excited about this. Yeah.
Well, and so what I'm hearing for everyone in the chat, what I'm hearing is back heavily so we can strong arm Sam into doing issue 2, 3, 4, 5, continuing.
You know,
So
the
we've
universe and the galaxy need saving a lot.
There's a lot of places we can go.
Absolutely.
So another thing that I really wanted to kind of get into is how this came to be, because this seems just so crazy and by happenstance that
it was by happenstance
that you all kind of teamed up. So who wants to tell the story of like how this whole concept?
I'll tell this portion quickly, and then Rob, don't forget to tell her. Now, remember, you mentioned 2 guys from Jersey. Rob is also from Jersey, so maybe he can give you some insight into why they did what they did. But no, briefly, and then Rob can correct me or add to this. But no,
I'll never correct you, Sam. I will never correct you.
Oh, yeah. We met years ago. As you know, I do anywhere from, depending on schedule, anywhere from 30 to 40 Comic Cons a year. Jeez. And so I came by his table, his art, and I said, my gosh. I said, buddy, I want to buy that Captain America painting and that Wonder Woman painting. So I bought those, and then we kind of bumped into each other every now and then I think it was maybe a year later, maybe longer, he'll tell you, that he came up to me and said, Sam, I have a pitch for you. I've got a deal for you. So I told him, shoot.
That's exactly
fire
right.
away. And he pitched this comic book, and that was, I believe, 2 years ago, right?
Yep.
Rob?
About a year and a half ago, yeah.
And here we are.
Yep.
That is so nuts.
That was, and it was, Sam was, he remembered me from the years before, so he was, so we got to talking again, and definitely it was good.
They made the book, and I colored.
But I got to tell you one story about him buying my paintings. I don't know if you remember this, Sam. He's over there and he's looking at the paintings. He has them in his hands. Oh, I don't know. My wife's gonna kill me. She said I was supposed to come here and make money, not spend money.
No, that happens all the time. Matter of fact, what I used to do, but my wife busted me. I thought I got clever with her. What I would do, I'd take, maybe it was on a Sunday where things were kind of slowing down a bit. I'd start taking off and start doing business with all the vendors, artists, action figure vendors, toys, you name it. Because we have 5 kids, but they're adults. Now we have 6 grandkids. So I used to go and I used to do a lot of shopping. And so trying to be clever with my wife, I wouldn't bring the big box home, you see, Cyborg and Shae. I wouldn't bring it home. I give it to the vendor, give him my FedEx number, and say, FedEx this box to me. Okay.
Oh,
but she got real clever with that. So anyway, so I can't, I can't do that anymore.
Now just bring it home in pieces.
Yeah, you see, this is how I do it, is I leave it in the car, in the trunk, and then I just bring a few things in every couple of days. And just like, oh no, you knew about that. It was here, yesterday. Like just like scattered around. Like, no, we already talked about that. I swear it's not another thing that I bought.
I gotta let my dog in. My dog is scratching. Hold on.
Absolutely. We love pups. We're fine with that.
Wait till you see her. She is ferocious.
Oh, I bet.
Joe, how'd you get roped into coloring this? Did you know you would from the start?
Get roped into it. I crowdfunded a book before, Blue Phoenix, and I was talking to my dad about it, and I was like, I have a lot of friends that love comics and love to crowdfund comics, and we should bring it to them and see what they think about it. There he is. Oh my gosh!
Look at that ferocious. I knew it was going to be a tiny dog too. The second you said ferocious.
Don't let it too close to your throat.
Oh!
Okay,
the best part is you held him up and then he just hugged your little hands like, oh geez, okay.
Oh yeah.
Sam, I will
She actually
take my collection. to bribe you to make your next little dog Ming.
Yes. For all the dog lovers out there, I always said my whole life I had gigantic, big dogs, German Shepherds. Mm-hmm. Just huge. And I didn't think, I used to kind of laugh at especially men that would have a little bitty dog. And,
I did too.
Guess what? Now I've got two little bitty dogs, and I get it. Look, I'm a little slow, guys. I get it. I have a clear understanding. First of all, she is the best watchdog I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
She'll start growling, right? And I'll say, hey, Mimi, come on. There's nobody out there. So I go downstairs, and the sidewalk is way out there past the front yard, okay? And there's somebody walking, okay, on the sidewalk, which is 100 yards away. I said, how do you do that? Okay.
That's the same. My mom has, so she had 2 Yorkies and a Chihuahua mix that she inherited from my brother. And then she watches my brother's 2 Yorkies a lot. And I tell you what, I'm so much more scared going into her house unannounced than I am going into a house that has like bull mastiffs. Cause I'm like, no, you know what? The bull mastiffs are going to be like, you good? You good. Okay. The little dogs remember me and will still be like, I'm going to rip your ankle off. Oh, wait, you're the one that gives me belly scritches. And like, they attack first and then remember me.
It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
We're saying about Joe's coloring. I asked him to color the book because he did and the coloring is very good in the book, and I really appreciate that. He actually colored my first comic book, Back to the Future parody. And I'm going to show it right here. And this is when weren't you overseas in the Army or something? And
I was
he had no training whatsoever. And he ends up coloring that.
That's
very
pretty cool.
nice.
I was in Iraq when I was doing that one.
Oh my God.
Yeah, cool, man.
Yeah, he's doing a good job.
Actually, the colors are done. I'm just brushing up some of the colors, and I'm working on letters right now. But the whole thing's pretty much done, which is a nice way to run a campaign, because then you don't have to worry about getting stuff done afterwards after it's funded. So it's all done, and we'll send it out. It'll be ready for the printer as soon as we wrap this up. So I'm excited to get it printed.
Absolutely. And you guys have so you're at 13 days left. Is this your first 30 or
days. This is the first 30, but is there going to be a second 30? I don't
Yeah.
Fair.
We're going to hit this. Yeah, we're going to hit this. And I talked, Cyborg and Shae, I talked to the fans at the Comic Cons a year ago. I told them, hey, I'm going to do this comic book. And they said, whatever you do, don't private fund it. Make sure you do it with crowdfunding. I said, why? He said, because when we take part in it, we become a backer. It gives us ownership. We feel as though we're a bigger part of it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You call it backers, but I call them partners. That's how I look at it. And so that's why we did it this way. And it's really exciting doing it that way. And I'm as Joe said, it's pretty much good to go. And we hope to say what's those famous words? When you go to push the printer. Okay,
rock and roll, baby.
Rock and roll. Time to print.
Oh, time to
Well, maybe one of you guys can comment on the new convention deal we have with the card.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, so we just came up with this. We're getting the cards printed now, but if you scroll down there, you'll see Sam J. Jones's official book tour dates.
Yes, comic book tour dates. If you go down
the comic book tour dates, he's going to be all over the country and the world. And
right there it is, right there.
Yep. And we're getting custom Comic-Con exclusive trading cards are printed right now that Sam's going to have at his desk. If you back the book and show him your backer number in person, he'll give you one of these exclusive
card. Exclusive.
We're going to burn the rest too in a pile. So
Yes.
Wow.
There won't be any left, Joe. Come on.
I'll have them with me. Yes.
Well, I mean,
What?
what I mean to say is they're going to be super exclusive, and
Yes.
you can only get one if you see them in person and show them your backer number. So that's
Yes, Shae. You have to go to Jersey.
I know.
Go to
Now,
Jersey,
now I
Shae.
have to go to Jersey. I mean, Pennsylvania's close too, though. I could always go to RetroCon.
There you go.
And then I won't have to go to Jersey.
Yeah, and why is there
I'll
a
be at the
red?
one in Mesa.
Yeah, yes. Why is there a red line under Contropolis?
I don't.
'Cause It doesn't like how it's spelled. It says it's not a real. It's
was-
not a real place. It's decided.
It was
Well,
probably you
not a-
probably screen capped this out of a Word document or something like that, and so it's trying to spell check it, and then you screen cap
it
the
had
spell
to be
check.
a JPEG, and I couldn't deal with all. Yeah,
Because
I'll try to. I'll put some white out on there.
We'll help. We'll help it
Jersey
fix
is
it.
bad. That's what it's saying. Jersey is
Because-
bad,
yes,
and it wants to warn you.
Money, money. Guys.
No, this is really awesome, and that's really exciting. Kind of extra for everyone. Like who wouldn't want? And like Wise says, no Ohio locations. I feel you. There's no Maryland or
There's no
Virginia, but
Virginia,
you know
yeah.
what? It's
Oh,
okay.
Shae, it's fluid. We're adding to it. I mean, I just
Awesome.
added, or Joe added 4 more. Now remember, it's a 2023, 2024 comic book tour. But even this year, without exaggerating, I'm probably going to add, I would say, 10 more this year, minimum 10 more this year. Because
One of those should be Baltimore Comic-Con because that's just down the road from me.
There you go. Where do you
And
live?
that's in October.
Forget. You say
She lives
you're
right
in the
outside
city?
Baltimore.
No, don't say where you live. But are you in the city or are you just outside the city?
Oh, I'm outside this. I don't live in the city.
Oh, okay.
But it's I drove
was a
4.5
Baltimore cop.
hours to go to Tidewater Comic Con. I can drive 45 minutes to go to Baltimore Comic Con.
There you go.
Look, we got Maria in the chat says I'm going to Mesa, Arizona for Monster Week.
Yeah, AZ Monster Week looks cool.
That'll be
Yes.
cool.
Look,
back
I'm,
Yeah.
Get
I'm
your
having
trading card.
tea delivered. Look at this.
What's this? Oh my!
Look at that. Hello.
That's my comic
Wonderful.
book tour tea. That's Mrs. Jones. Yes.
Oh, Ramona.
Well, tell her she is absolutely beautiful. My goodness.
Oh, wow.
She might be making an appearance. She might be making an appearance in the book. I'm not sure.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like she needs to. I feel like if nothing else, she needs to just bring him some tea at his table at a Comic-Con and then just disappear.
No, in the middle of the final battle in the comic, Sam is feeling a little parched.
Hold on.
He can't quite carry on, and so she brings him some tea.
No.
It's gotta be glowing gold though. It's gotta be like the specialty.
So go ahead and finish. I cut you guys off before my tea time arrived. You were go ahead. I think.
What were you saying, Joe?
Just about the book touring and get that exclusive card there. We have a bunch of other tiers too. We have the sketch card tier where you get some original art there from my dad. He's making them up right now. He actually has a bunch of. They're all different, so that's
They're all original.
really cool
Yeah.
tier to get.
Very cool.
And then you get the autograph tier, which is going to cost us a lot of time and money to bring you his autograph on this book, but it's going to be worth it. And I'll tell you what, if you get that tier, I feel like that tier is going to be gone really fast. So I'm going to take him the books personally, and then I'm going to ship them back across the country, and then we're going to ship it to you. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a good one. So
And show them, Joe. Click on each tier because all they're seeing is
Oh yeah, we're gonna go over the tiers now. We haven't opened them up yet, so
all the perks.
So let's go through, Joe. Since you set this up, you want to talk about what's happening at each of these tiers?
Yeah, so we have the base tier, which you'll get the 54-page book. You'll get the sticker, the bookmark, set of 3 trading cards. and what else is in there? And yeah, that's all going to be sent to you in a.
Isn't that the membership card? Isn't that the membership
Also
card?
yeah, see, I forgot to put the membership card in there, but I can't.
Everybody gets a membership card. Yeah.
I can't change them after someone's claimed
Right.
it. But,
So basically, as long as people back a physical perk from you, they're getting the Sam J. Jones membership card as well.
yes. Yeah.
There you go. So it's if you get a physical, it's included.
You get
Easy way to do it. If you get a physical copy of the book, or if you get physical, who knows? Get real physical, see what happens.
Lou Ferrigno and Sam Jones will come in.
They're gonna fight right in front of you.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, go ahead and finish this. But Sai said something interesting about bringing in another. He mentioned Lou again, but I'll address that because there will be a certain tier, the very last one, and I want to comment based on what about bringing in another celebrity besides me. But Joker, go ahead and finish each tier before we get to the
first time hearing about this. I haven't heard this before.
Well,
Joe's like, "What's happening? What's happening? I didn't know."
Yeah, but go ahead and finish it. And when we get to the last tier, I want to address that about another celebrity as well.
Stay tuned for a Red Valkyrie exclusive, everybody.
Yeah,
Just
that's
saying.
cool.
Okay, let's go, Joe.
All right, I'm blown away right now. Okay, so we got the sketch cards, and that's a small original piece of art there from my dad, Rob Archey, and he's gonna send that to you along with everything else. You got the trading cards, you got the bookmark sticker, and the membership card. And
so here's my question with this. This says set of 3. So are they getting 3 sketch cards from your dad if they back this?
No, the 3 trading cards. So
3 trading cards. Got you. I can read. Reading is fundamental, people.
But you get a sketch card in the 3 trading cards in the
Got
book.
you. Okay.
It's like if he's at a con, drawing you something, you pay him a little more money, you get that. So
Perfect.
those are going fast too, actually.
Yeah, I can imagine. I really like
50.
the.
Get busy, Rob.
I know, right?
They wants me to work my fingers to the bone.
Yeah, keep on working. What are you doing? You're sitting there.
Yeah.
And you just draw.
Rob thought he was done once he finished the pages, but
No, I'm putting him to work as much as he's putting me to work. Yeah, there's the autographed copy. You get a hand signed copy from Sam J. Jones along with everything else. And again, that's I feel like that one's gonna go really fast too. So, and we will send that to you. Then we have the original art page plus the book, which this is priced very, very cheap. I told him to price it a little more, but he said no. I want to get my art out there. So. So yeah, you get an original page of the book for $350, and along with everything else. So pick one of those up. That'll look really good on your wall too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the Bristol board. We'll send it to you nice and safe. And then we have we have the Ranger Commander tier, and you're probably seeing this tier and saying to it, $1,200. What? Well, guess what? You get a private one-on-one meal with Sam J. Jones himself at one of these cons. So
that was what I was going to joke. I was going to say to Sam, come and have a dinner with me.
Yes, no, it's true. It's not a joke.
Babe, I don't have $1,200. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, you also
I'll figure it out.
You get everything else, but most people are thinking, wait a minute, what do you mean you're going to have a private one-on-one meal with Sam? And let me just address that part. It's like, hey, great beer, Sam, great cup of coffee, great 7 minutes I had with you, goodbye. No, we're talking about a minimum of what, Joe, 2 hours, sit down, one-on-one, just
hang out.
Great opportunity. And I tell the fans when they come to my table, other than the autographs and the selfies, this is a great opportunity for you to tell me your story. Everybody has a story. But so then you say, okay, well, how are we going to do that? Wait a minute. Well, here's the deal. Just unless you're in San Diego, first of all, when you join this tier, you're going to reach out to Joe, and he's going to give you some details and specifics. Now, my home is in San Diego. I can't tell you where I am, because I have this vicious attack dog here. But
it should just rip you to shreds.
San Diego, and I'm not doing the tour. Then Joe can probably set it up. where we go to a nice restaurant and we make that happen. But if you're following this site of Indiegogo with Sam J. Jones Saves the Galaxy, you'll follow my comic book tour schedule, and you say, wait a minute, I'm going to be in, I think the person before said, oh, Sam's going to be in Mesa, Arizona. He's going to be in Minneapolis. Well, then you'll call Joe and say, wait a minute, I can get to Mesa. They said, okay. So what we'll do, he'll set something up with you where I will join you for whatever it is, whatever your schedule is, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and we'll make that happen. But here's the cool thing, okay, which I brought this up with Joe before. I don't think he remembered. But so I'm on my comic book tour. What does that mean? It means I'm appearing at a Comic-Con. What does that mean? It means I'm going to be surrounded by other celebrities. Some are my friends, some are just my acquaintances. But it would make sense to me that if you signed up for the Everything Ranger Commander, guess what? It wouldn't just be me. I'd bring in one of my buddies, celebrities, to join us. What do you think about that, huh?
I love it.
Sounds like a plan to me.
For everybody hanging out in the chat, I need you guys to start commissioning me right now so I can afford this tier, please. Like, immediately.
Yeah.
Shae be broke because I work for the government.
And
I'm
she
gonna
just
need
got back
y'all
from a
to
con.
buy. I need you guys to buy art for me so I can get this.
What is your rank, Shae? Your rank?
I'm an E6.
Woo! Oh my
good.
goodness!
Right.
Yeah.
You're up there.
I don't think I'll make E7, unfortunately, but that's okay. That's
many
okay.
people
We're
get-
ready to be done. Yeah, so that's like I can't even speak. Like that's an amazing opportunity. And I'm literally going through my mind of thinking like, what do I have that is like valuable that I could sell to get $1,200?
I can say.
Hey Shae, that cosplay calendar.
Yeah, everybody, let's make a cosplay calendar happen.
A really
I will-
fast cosplay calendar.
It's fine. I'm sure I can pull that together.
And have the money before this ends. Sure.
Yeah, sure. In 13 days, that's totally doable. No, that's amazing. That is a really, really cool opportunity. Not to mention, obviously, Sam just seems like such a fun person to hang out with. So Sam, period, is awesome to get to sit down with for 2 hours and just bullshit. But if Sam's gonna start, strong arming his buddies over and be like, "Hey, come eat with me,"
Why not?
like that's even better.
Yeah, absolutely. And if Lou's with me, I've known him for 42 years. He will come. He will come. As long as the partner that's going to join likes Italian food, because when I'm with Lou, that's the only thing we eat is Italian food. Okay.
I can eat Italian. Italian can happen.
Meatballs, spaghetti, rigatoni.
Right?
Matter of fact,
Italian's good.
Lou is going to be with me in, if I'm not mistaken, New Jersey. Is it New Jersey? Joe,
Is he
it
gonna be
New
with you in
Jersey?
Pennsylvania?
I
Pardon
don't
me?
know. Look,
Yeah, I think he's going to be there. Frigno is going to be there in New Jersey. Hope I'm not getting that mixed up with Minneapolis. Yeah, if you guys just go on the websites of that event. They're
And
all
start
named.
looking.
And I'm almost if you Google Contropolis, New Jersey, you'll see all the guests there. Matter of fact, I've been contracted for that show for over a month, but the promoter forgot to announce me. He's announcing me either today or tomorrow, so I will be there. But my point is, see who the other guests are. And
I will go to Jersey for that. I would absolutely go to Jersey for that. That would be cool. Look at people like Garden State Comic Con. Everyone's throwing out their cons, hoping like you're gonna come to the one near me, maybe,
Actually,
hopefully.
the Garden State Comic Con looks cool. Yeah, I'd like to go to that. If I wasn't in Arizona, I would.
Joe, just start taking notes. Just pay attention to whatever is being said in the chat and be like, let's see what we can make happen.
Add to the campaign. See how we can make you happy.
This is so much fun. This is such a cool concept, and I gotta say, I have a question. I know that you probably don't want to give too much away. Is the princess chick that I have cosplayed, is she kind of a bad guy? Because I'm getting bad girl vibes from this, and it's going to be hilarious.
She has quite a character arc actually in the story. the story has a lot to do with redemption and fear, and it has a lot of things. She has I guess I could say this much: she has been kidnapped when she was only like 12 years old, maybe 10 or 12, and she's been brought up by this evil planet, and she has her good side, but she's kind of clinging to this evil emperor character. So she has this character arc, and she may or may not meet Sam eventually. I don't know, but
maybe Sam will save her from herself.
Possibly.
This is what I find hilarious is I don't know why, but every time I look at these campaigns and I'm picking out characters that I want to cosplay, inherently, I almost always pick the bad guy. And I don't know why, but it happens almost every time.
She has her moments, that's for sure. She definitely has her moments.
You want me to do the he's here pose? I'll have to.
I have to add another. I have to add another layout to get this.
Oh my gosh.
There we go.
He's here.
He's here. I just like how she did the oh goodness, like the little knees.
It reminds
together,
me of 80s bands and the groupies just screaming.
The screaming, yeah, exactly. Oh, it's such an expressive pose. I love it so much.
Thank you. Good.
Alex says, I don't know why, and he goes, oh, we know. I know. I'm terrible. I'm really evil is what it is. I just seem like a nice person. Maybe.
It's your character. It's your character. That's it. Oh,
yes.
There's the membership card. Isn't that cool?
That is such a cool card.
That retro 30s, 40s. Isn't that great?
That was kind of designed after a Buck Rogers membership card from the 30s, which I thought was cool. It just people would get things in the mail and it'd be so special. But it was just a different day. And it's kind of modeled after that. And Buster Crabbe was, I know he played Buck Rogers. But Sam, you know Buster Crabbe, right? You knew him, right?
Yeah, the original Flash Gordon that did all the old retro black and white serials and whatnot. Yeah, he actually traveled with me to help promote this movie. That would have been 2 weeks before Christmas, 1980.
Wow.
So that would have been early to mid-December, 1980. He was wonderful. A lot of people don't know he was the original Flash Gordon, the original Buck Rogers. He was one of the 18 Tarzans. He was Captain Gallant of the Foreign Legion, and in real life he was I believe a gold medalist. I know he was a medalist in the Olympics for.
He was an athlete, yeah.
So this is so cool because it reminds me of all of those clip out of the cereal box and send in.
Good.
And then hope that you get the card and then you take it to Kinko's or whatever. You have them laminate it and you carry it in your wallet
Well, that's what you need to do after you put your name in it, right? You're going to laminate it. You're going to put that in your wallet or in your vehicle. If you ever get pulled over by you just pull that out and they'll read it and say, "Oh, this is you're a member of Sam J. Jones Space Rangers, and you swore an oath that you solemnly swear to be courageous at all times in protecting the innocent and delivering justice to evil while upholding the ideal of freedom and peace throughout the galaxy." Well, let me tell you something. He's going to let you go. Matter of fact, he's going to say to you, young man or young lady, how can I sign up too?
Yep. You know what's going to happen to me? He's going to go, then you should be upholding the law as part of this, and then give me a ticket
then why
anyway.
Are you speeding, Space Ranger?
That's exactly what would happen to me.
I have a galaxy to save. I have a galaxy to save, right?
It would be like, I'm very late for saving the whole galaxy. And he'll be like, so here's your ticket. And be like, okay, I'm sorry.
I love how you did the dashed lines at the top, as if it's a little kid filling in their name.
Yeah,
exactly. That's a great attention to detail.
Thank you. I would have signed it with a crayon.
Or a little pencil, a fat pencil.
Yeah, one of those fat pencils. So I wanted to ask you, Sam, as you were talking talking about your friends and all of their accomplishments, what's your favorite thing that you've done? Like, you've had quite a career where you've had a lot of different roles. We were looking them all up, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know half of these. Like, what was your favorite one?
Well, I just got to be, full disclosure, being a guy, meaning I would say The Highwayman, the TV series. Not to take away anything from Flash Gordon or all the other 70 plus movies I've done, but The Highwayman for a guy, I mean, come on. I got to dress just like Mad Max, Road Warrior, all that black leather. Are you kidding me? I had that shotgun strapped to my leg in a holster. I had a federal badge to do what I wanted. I drove an 18-wheeler with all these incredible gizmos and gadgets. And I think the icing on the cake was usually when we film, we're in a sanitized environment. But we got to film in the great outdoors of Arizona at night in the superstitious mountains, cold, daytime with the blazing heat in Phoenix and Scottsdale. And it's one of the most memorable times of my life, actually. Yeah.
You've got me questioning because you're like, as a guy, and then you're like, I gotta wear all the black leather and have a sawed-off shotgun. And I was like, dude, that sounds amazing. Like, I want to do that.
No, I mean, I think guys have been wearing leather for years, whether they were, they were bombardier jackets from being pilots or whatever it was. And then, I ride Harleys. A lot of guys I know that ride Harleys, they wear.
My dad was a Harley guy. That was my fondest memory ever with my dad. Is I was kind of an outcast because I'm a very tall girl, and I wasn't twig skinny and popular, and I spoke my mind. So I was definitely an outcast, and my dad kind of knew that. And so one day he decides he's picking me up from junior high, and he picked me up on the back of his Harley. He handed me leather chaps, a leather jacket, and a helmet, and was like, hop on. And everybody left me alone the rest of the school year. They were like, I don't know who he is, but I don't think it was her dad. But he picked her up from school, and I think he might kill us. And I was like, it was definitely my dad. What is wrong with you? And I was like, and yeah, he probably would kill you, so you should leave me alone.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, that's so cool.
It's a good dad.
Oh, my dad was bomb. He was so cool. I now have all of his like old leathers and stuff because unfortunately we lost him a couple year and a half ago.
Well, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and it sucks, but at the same time, like, I have all of these great memories with him. And my dad, like, honestly, my dad would have loved you. He would have loved meeting you. He's like, that's a man's man. Be like, yeah, I know. Like, it's definitely same personalities of like, let's do the leathers and the, out and getting dirty in the actual Arizona desert and all that. Like, that's exactly the kind of dad that I had growing up. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Okay, so we talked about the sketch cards from Rob, and then we've got.
I can tell you, say one thing. That we have one right there is from my other son, one of my other sons, Luke.
That's what I was going to ask.
And he actually did he's a very, very good portrait artist. And he did that for us, and we really appreciate it. He's very talented.
He's like
That's amazing.
Excellent.
He's like a co-host on our weekly stream we have on my YouTube channel. So
Nice.
he's on there.
That is fantastic.
Yeah,
And you know what? One of these days, I'm going to have to cosplay this character in the background because she's bomb. Look at her. Oh my gosh.
She's a queen.
So Lion says there's probably some connection to her demand for patches in that story. Yes, the reason that I love patches so much is because I grew up riding in motorcycle clubs and being covered in patches, and then I joined the military and they also have patches. So I love patches, damn it. I think they're cool. Speaking of, patches would be great on this campaign at some point. I'm just saying.
Listen, I did patches on my last campaign, and it was so expensive that it just took everything out of me. I don't know if we're going to do patches again, but it's
understood. Cool. Just know a little piece
right
of Shae just died.
Look at that, buddy.
Oh.
Blue Phoenix.
I remember that patch.
Patches left, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good patch.
That is from which one? That's from the.
That was from my campaign.
That's from
I
Joe's
did a couple
campaign.
years ago.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Blue Phoenix. Yes.
Yeah.
It almost looks like an official law enforcement patch.
It's supposed to look
It
like
does.
a police patch, yeah.
It reminds me a lot of like Judge Dredd or something, like something I would expect to see on some enforcer. I really like it. Maria had a good question for you. She wanted to know, who would you want to play you in a movie about your life?
Well,
Other than you.
That would be me, Maria.
If it couldn't be you.
If it couldn't be me.
Yeah.
That's a great question. I do know years ago, they offered Ashton Kutcher to play in the new Flash Gordon as Flash Gordon. And when I was told this, I didn't get it from the source, but from the rumor that he turned it down, which I can never figure out why he turned it down. I don't know, probably none of my business. But if you take a picture of Ashton Kutcher at the age of 23, 24, and you put it next to my picture at the same age, we're brothers. I don't want to say identical.
He does have an athletic look.
Applies if you take a picture of Buster Crabbe at the age of 23, 24, and put it next to me at 23, 24, we were actually look like we were fraternal twins almost. It's fascinating. But yeah, I mean, anytime you get in, I mean, look, Ashton's still has a great career. He's probably in a place where he could pick and choose, but I don't know why anybody would want to turn down.
I feel like
a superhero that represents, just represents not just the all-American. Matter of fact, one of the descriptive lines in the beginning about Flash Gordon was the greatest American hero. But I say he's one of the greatest international heroes as well. And what makes him relevant,
intergalactic at this point.
Yes, galactic and relevant is he's just a man. He's just a guy. He doesn't have any superpowers, and I think the message that Rob has in the book, one of the messages is, okay, all this adversity that this guy, of course, I got to depend on my athleticism and my wits. I think more so athleticism, right? Sam J. Jones and/or Flash Gordon. But I think when the common man and the common women, as we call the common folk, when they read this story and they look at it and they go, wait a minute, all this stuff and all this stuff that I'm dealing with personally, with the adversity and the challenges and people and the human condition, and my by golly, if Sam J. Jones can deal with the same thing and all this attack and innocence being abused and or attacked, if he can do it, then by golly, I can do it too, and I can have success. So that's one of the great points and themes that this book brings up too. He's just a guy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Well, see, I think that when it comes to somebody like Ashton Kutcher, I think the issue that I see with him taking on a position like that is that the roles that he's played up to this point have largely been ridiculous, comedic, and I think that seeing him in a role where it's just a guy who is just pure of heart and has kind of like what Sai says, superpower in the movie was his heart and his hope. I feel like that's probably something that when you first see Ashton Kutcher, because you know him, you recognize him, that's not what you think. Like 9 times out of 10, when you first see him, you think, dude, where's my car? Or Kelso off of that 70s show. And I feel like that would really take away from what I've heard from, because again, I haven't seen it and I'm going to fix that today. But from what I've heard about Flash Gordon and how everybody loves that character. And so to me, I feel like that would be such a weird matchup. And it's weird to me that they gave it to him, and I'm assuming it's simply because you guys looked similar around the same age. But
people said the same thing about Michael Keaton, though, playing Batman. He's a ridiculous.
Yeah.
He played the ridiculous parts.
Yeah, and like sometimes, you know, like Jim Carrey's been in serious roles and has totally like shocked everybody because everyone was like, didn't realize that you had it in you. Same thing with Robin Williams. You know, he had done some really serious roles and you were like, wow, that was unexpected. But I don't feel like I can put Ashton Kutcher in that same barrel. I feel like he's a little bit typecast and he's either going to go for heartthrob or stoner kid. And like those are the two that is cemented in my mind. I can't see anything else.
Shae, you said you didn't see Flash Gordon. Okay.
I have not.
We're not going to count that against you, okay?
I know.
However,
I'm sorry.
Have you seen Ted?
Oh God.
Ted, you know, Seth MacFarlane's movie with Mark Wahlberg.
I don't want to admit to seeing it, but yes, I've seen Ted.
And I played her. Okay. I played her the scene with you in it, Sam, just a few weeks ago.
Are you like 80s?
How did you, Sam? How did you end up meeting Seth and getting that job?
Oh, he called me. And he said, "Hey, I'm Seth MacFarlane." I said, I knew who he was. I said, "Who are you?" I like to get that reaction out of people, you know. He said, "Look, when I was 8 years old, my mother dropped me off at the movie theater and said, 'Hey, you're getting on my nerves. Go watch this new movie.'" Okay, he was 8. Okay. And he said, "Sam, all I can tell you is when I walked out of that movie theater at 8 years old, I knew the way you impacted me. I knew I wanted to be a creative force in the film industry." I said, "Well, Seth, you became a creative force, but you also became a bit perverted. I hope I had nothing to do with that." So he said he's written a movie based on those early years. And he wanted to bring me on board. So I thought it was so cool. A couple of dynamics. Awesome. The fact that I got to be part of his franchise. I got to be part of his directorial debut. And also that would have been the first time since Flash Gordon that I did another movie for Universal Studios. So it was, and then, you know, Mark Wahlberg, one of the best, most humble human beings you will ever meet in your life. It was a win-win for everybody.
The whole
and he got to put his arms around you on the back of a rocket bike. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. On the rocket cycle. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
We did have another question for Sam. Some person wanted to know how much did Brian Blessed mess with Dino De Laurentiis?
Oh, he messed with everybody. He's still messing with me right now. In a good, funny way. I mean, if he was on this podcast right now, he would take it by storm. Like I told the guys before, you know, he would start talking. And he'd get into a 10-minute monologue, and about every 10 minutes he would say, "Hey, look at Shae, look at Cy, look at Sam, look at Joe, look at Rob. Aren't they beautiful? Now, back to me."
Nice.
That's how he does it.
I appreciate that level of acknowledgement.
Every time I'm in the UK, and especially in London, we would do a panel, a Q&A. The last one I did with him, I'm not making this up, 2,000 people in the audience. And that's exactly how we did our Q&A. The same story I told you. And that was our chemistry. It wasn't forced. That's just how it was. But if it got to be a little bit out of hand where I was never able to talk at all, the way I would do it, because, you know, he's 86 and he sings Pavarotti a cappella. I mean, precise, right?
Wow.
So when he got a little bit too much, when the 10-minute monologue went past 12 minutes or so, I would say, "Brian, why don't you sing Pavarotti a cappella to the audience?" And he said, "Yeah." Now, and the reason why I would say that is because he puts so much into it when he carries those high C notes for about 30 to 45 seconds. Well, he can't even stand up anymore. He has to sit down and shut up. So that's what he did. If you ever get that video of him singing Pavarotti a cappella, it's mine. Anyway, he sang it and he staggered. Okay, back to the chair. And I got the mic. I said, "Good." I said, "That's how you get blessed. Just shut up."
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Sai has a question, so I'm going to let you read it.
I don't want to read it. What was it like working with Blake Edwards at basically the beginning of your career? Because he's done my all-time favorite comedies.
Pink Panther.
Yeah. I saw them as a kid, and I never knew I could laugh that hard up until that point in my life.
He actually, in a way, had something to do with me, the early stages of me getting Flash Gordon. I mean, he didn't make the call. And by the way, none of that stuff works. You know, we go, oh, I know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy, or I know a guy. Well, they're not going to give you a job based on you know somebody. They're going to give you a job in the film industry because you can actually do it. You can deliver the part. Mm-hmm. So what I'm getting at is, so on the movie 10 with Bo Derek, we're in Hawaii, 1978, or is it early? It's 78.
It was, it came out in 79.
It came out in 70. Yeah, that's right. He found out that Dino De Laurentiis, I don't know how he found out, but it's Blake Edwards. He found out that I got a call that morning while we're filming that Dino De Laurentiis wanted to interview me back in Los Angeles for Flash Gordon. So, and I wasn't about, it was my first movie with Blake, right? My first movie. I was not about to go to, and I had a small part in 10. I was not about to go to him and say, hey, you know, Dino wants to see me. But I think he knew that. So here's what he did later on that day, afternoon. He hired a private helicopter to fly me to Honolulu Airport to get me on a plane back to LA so I can meet Dino De Laurentiis for the very first time. And that first interview was the start of 8 to 9 months of interviews and auditions. But if it wasn't for Blake Edwards doing that, maybe I would have not, I probably wouldn't have got the part.
Wow.
That is crazy. See, this is, so here's the thing that I want to highlight for anyone who's watching, because I think that this is something that personally I've seen as like, this is the difference between success and pipe dreams that never pan out. And this is true in, what the stories that Sam has shared about some of his opportunities. This is true in the fact that Rob approached Sam with this entire book idea and was like, hi, I don't know if you like this or not, but let's do it. That whole you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, I know it sounds corny, but in all honesty, the biggest defeat that anyone, especially creatives, face are themselves. And there's so many opportunities out there if you just take the leap of faith, put yourself out there and see what happens, and don't take a no as a failure. If something doesn't pan out the first time, maybe that's just not the right time. Maybe you just got to reassess how you approached it, reassess who you approached, and try again. But the big thing here is if you want to be successful, fucking do it. Stop talking about it. Stop making all these ideas and these pipe dreams that you've got. Act on them, because that's what ends up making you be able to be Flash Gordon. That's what makes you be able to do a comic with Sam J. Jones. That's how it happens, is because you just take the chance.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, and now, Shae, that's 100%. 100%. All I can do is echo what you said and just talk about my failures and my successes. I joined the Marine Corps to be a lifer. I got arrogant. I started playing Marine Corps football. I got very arrogant, thinking the pros needed me. I did my time in the Corps. I went to Seattle to try out for the Seahawks. And after my tryout, they said, thank you very much, but we don't need you. So look at this. So I joined at 17, 18, 19. So I'm 21 years old. Here's a 21-year-old who his Marine Corps life is over. His football career is over, and my head was down. So what Shae is saying, just to echo, there's a no and a no. It's over. What are you going to do? Well, I did put my head down a little bit. But whenever we hear the no's, or it didn't quite work out, or they don't want you anymore, sometimes they can be self-induced with the choices we make. A lot of times it's not. So I just lifted my eyes up a little bit and I asked God for a little bit, just give me a little opportunity. And he sent this guy who I just met him a few times. He was working with me at one of the restaurants in Seattle. He said, hey, I heard about your life real quick, Marine Corps football. I just read this incredible article about Clint Eastwood. Sam, I think you should read it. I think the article is going to inspire you. Well, that article inspired. Now, remember, just for me to say no, I had to get my eyes up a little bit, because sometimes when we're so mad at ourselves or mad at the world, we'll say, leave me alone. I don't want to read that freaking article. Well, I said, thank you very much. I'll read it. I read it. It inspired me to go to Hollywood, and I went to Hollywood, I think 3 months later. But I love what I just didn't go blindly. I love what Denzel Washington says. He says, dream big, but you better have a plan, okay?
Yep.
You better make a plan with that dream. So here's my plan to go to Hollywood. I knew I had to go. For some reason, I just felt I belonged there. I needed a car, okay? I needed a place to stay. I needed a job, and I needed to join an acting class. That happened. I'm not making this up. That happened. I got the car. I bought my grandpa's secondhand car. And when I got there, I got a job the same day. I had a place to stay at my aunt's, and I joined an acting class that night. Boom. It happened just like that. So get your head up. When someone says no, or you made the wrong choice, you know what? Get your head up and be thanking God for the next window that he's going to open, and he may use somebody else. And usually it's the most peculiar, okay? It's the most peculiar, unlikely person that you would ever think he would use to bring into your life.
Absolutely. And, to that end, I actually had a question for Rob.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I want to know how you kind of, because I know that you're like, okay, he bought some of my art, and I think that this would be really cool to do. But I want to know, like, from the perspective of, I'm a guy who is in, Artist Alley and tabling here and things like that. And I have decided that I'm going to take the leap, and I'm going to go talk to a guy who is a celebrity, who, is like a build name at this place. And I'm going to be like, yo, let's work together. How do you get that kind of confidence to just go and take that leap? Because that's a huge vulnerability that you just threw yourself into.
Well, and Joe can attest to this, and he'll know this term. I always told my boys, be bold, okay? No matter what you do, whether it's in your art, you got to make a choice. You have to make choices in life. And I have confidence in my ability to write and to draw. And I can always bring the right people around me to get a project done. And hey, I have nothing to be ashamed about. And a little trepidation. You don't know if he's going to like it or not. But, I just knowing him a little bit and watching After Flash, that's a really good one you should see, too. It's a documentary about his life. But, he was very, I walked right up, and just like he described it, I said, I got a pitch for you. He goes, shoot. It's just like that. And he's not, and he knows that lifestyle. He's an entertainer. He knows he knows what pitches are. He knows what rejection is. He knows what success is. So that just worked out.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's the thing that I think is so cool, is because it's just, you're like, I didn't spend all this time thinking about all of the ways that this could not go well. I just went, well, it's a good idea, and I think that he'd be a good person for it, so I'm just going to pitch it to him. If he doesn't like it, then okay.
We got to bounce around some ideas about the story, which is great. He's a part of that process, and he's been a part of the whole creative process the whole way through. So we're a pretty good team so far.
That's fantastic, and I agree with
that. Add this, what Rob did, and anybody listening, I don't care what industry you're in. What Rob did, he kept it simple. Matter of fact, when you think it's simple, you need to oversimplify even more. He didn't come to me and say, hey, I got something that's going to change the world. But no, there's no great mystery here. If you have an idea, just present the idea. Make it real. You want to make it real. Don't overcomplicate. Just tell your story. That's all you got to do. Rob told me his story on what he wanted to do here, and he oversimplified. That means it's good when you oversimplify. obviously he came from being a seasoned guy anyway. But it's just so I want to tell everybody, whatever industry you're in, just keep it simple. Just keep it simple when you're doing a pitch or you're explaining something to somebody, because the person on the receiving end, they don't need things complicated. They don't need things convoluted. They don't need drama. Okay, they don't need that stuff. They just want you to keep it simple so they can get clarity on what you're trying to say. It's just that basic, man.
Absolutely. And
I wanted
the
to say
details come
something
later.
too.
Yeah, let's hear Joe.
Yeah, but that story's not over yet. You know, we just got this book up on the campaign website, but the story's not over. If you're watching this right now and you haven't backed, you know, go back whatever tier you want and help us, because there's only 13 days left on this campaign right now. No joke. Like,
we really need those space warriors, these warriors, to help out and really pitch in here. So
we need you to back the book. If you're watching, you know, just back with whatever tier looks good to you, and let's make this dream a reality together.
Yeah,
here.
Absolutely.
You know,
see, it's as simple as that, isn't it? It's wonderful.
This can't persist if we don't throw our support behind it. And this is such an amazing story that it's so nostalgic. It's so like just an ode to the origins of all of our favorite like superheroes and all of our favorite comic books and all that. Like this is like a love story to the beginning of it all. And this is where it really, you get to kind of relive that or live it for the first time. If for me, I didn't get into comics till I was 24. And when I got into comics, this was already a very long, well-laid foundation. You know, this is like getting to experience it for the first time, even if you weren't there. So this is the time to going back for sure. Because if we don't do it now, there's not going to be more.
Yeah,
you got it back now, so there can be more.
A week left. Yeah.
So the other question that I saw in here was from Maria again for Sam. It said, "Did you work out with Mark Wahlberg?"
No, we were both pretty busy on both those movies, Ted. I mean, we had some scenes together. I brought my little dumbbells on the set. He had his, but what's really cool, I got to talk to his trainer. One of his trainers about working out, and his trainer gave me some great insight. But you know, Mark works out. I mean, on a very effective, large scale. He's really in great shape, and again, super humble guy. You know, a lot of people don't understand all these big A-list names like Mark Wahlberg. They just want to talk about their family. They want to talk about. They don't want to really talk about movies. You know, they're part of that. That's their job. It's like you're a doctor, and do you want to talk to me about all your, making people better all day long? You want to maybe step away, take a break, and let's talk about family. Let's talk about the wife. Let's talk about the kids. You know, that's so yeah.
Well, this has just been so freaking awesome. I still can't. I'm sorry that he's here. That's got to be my favorite panel. That is the most amazing thing ever because it's so wonderfully like nostalgic of, I don't know, it reminds me of like the 70s or something, like Farrah Fawcett hair and the knees inward and the scream and everything. It's just perfect. I just love it. So good. This is such a fun project, and this has been such an amazing conversation, and I'm so happy we were able to get you guys on. Just like Sai said, I'm putting it back up here. It's a 10K fixed goal. Fixed, guys. This isn't flex. This is fixed. I need you guys to come out and back it. Share it with your friends. Let's make sure that we get this to funded. I want to see this as a reality. I want to see more of these happen, and I want dinner with Sam Jones. So I'm going to figure out how I'm going to come up with $1,200.
Yeah.
Making it happen.
You may add something else there. We talked about this briefly. Yeah, we got a call about me coming to a gigantic party, and they would, of course, that would be, you'd have to talk to Joe about that. But there's also some other, I guess you call it custom tiers, where we have some phone calls coming in. Somebody wanted me to marry them, but I'm not a licensed pastor to marry anybody. And I always wonder,
You're
why
like,
do you want me, well, yeah,
do you want me to show up?
Why would you want me to marry you? It's all about the bride, right? Right, Shae? It's about the bride that day. If I showed up, wouldn't that take anyway? But we're talking about a custom tier. There's some calls coming in about me, like going to a gigantic party. Hey, we're wide open to do that. I'm really, one of my gifts is personal appearances. So again, if you have any ideas, you want to do a big, I don't know if I can say a rage party, but let's say a party like the 80s. You come and go, and we can facilitate that. That's probably going to be on a much larger custom tier, but yeah, just where we're here.
Well, Sam, how do you party, Sam? Just like in TED, how do you party?
Party like the 80s.
Like the 80s.
80s were a great time for parties.
Yeah. So we're open. My point is, if none of these tiers are working for you out there, then if you want to do something like a custom tier, of course, on a much more significant level, then you contact Joe and we'll make that happen.
Yeah, tell me what you want to see. I'll add it. I'll put it up there.
We'll make it happen.
Joe's like a dealer right now. He's like, tell me what your poison is. I'll figure out how to get it in your hands real quick. It's gonna come at a premium, though.
We always keep things on the up. You know that. But, yeah.
Absolutely. Sai, do you have any other questions or anything that you want to throw out there before we watch this awesome trailer?
No, nothing about the project itself, though. I did want to ask Sam a yes or no question, but we can do that after.
I mean, it's up to you.
Doesn't matter. Fire away if you want to do it now.
Oh, I just read something crazy on your biography when before the show started. Were you really mugged right before the filming of Flash Gordon?
Well, yeah. You call it. I guess you call it a mug. Yeah, I never thought of it as a mug. I just thought of it as a yeah. I was out. I made a mistake. I was wearing a L.A. baseball cap in the part of Soho. No, there's nothing wrong with that. But it was during their football season, where I think Scotland, all the teams were down in London, and they were all out partying after the game. Now. Any football around the world, soccer, there's soccer. Oh, this is serious stuff. I mean, radical. It can get violent, even in the stadiums. So I just had my LA baseball cap on, and 6 guys came up to me. That they were drunk. You could tell they were football players, and they bumped into me and they wanted to fight. There were 6 of them. I didn't have a problem protecting myself with 6 guys. So, but little did I know it was kind of a setup. Okay, so I had my girlfriend with me at the time, and my sister. So somehow we ended up in the middle of the street in Soho, and so kind of a rough neighborhood, and lots of bars, lots of pubs, lots of restaurants. And all of a sudden, they're laughing at me, and they whistle, and they continue laughing. I'm thinking, what the heck are they doing? Come on, let's just get this done. And all of a sudden they whistle, and six of their buddies. So now it's 12 against 1. I'm doing pretty good. I'm a Marine, and a little bit of martial art training at that time. I'm doing good with 6 of them. But as you know, if your back is not against the wall, then if you're in the open, when you go in to attack somebody, your back is exposed. And they were very effective kickers, Shae. They could.
Oh, that's not helpful.
And effective kicking, and so if your kidneys are exposed or whatever your backside, you're going to go down immediately. It's not about that hurts. It's just like getting hit in the jaw. It doesn't hurt. You're the nerve. You're just going down.
Yeah.
Yep. So I got down. They were over on top of me like I took care of a couple of them, but. They were on top of me like wolves, and I was going to die. And I felt the last breath go out of me. And then, of course, what was incredible, all the pub owners, all the bar owners came outside, and they started pulling bodies off of me. So yeah, I got attacked in London, and I got saved. I got saved by the English people. It was incredible.
Nice.
And I had
It's a good story.
had a scar. My chin was exposed. I think my thumb was all the way back, and I almost saw it. So I had this big thing here, and they just took me to the hospital. They called in a plastic surgeon to use a smaller needle. That's what plastic surgeons do. They use a smaller needle, and they're better at sewing. So it saved my part, and I forgave those guys, and here we are, all these years later.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So what? So don't identify where you're from if you're in a foreign country during their football season and everybody is drunk. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good advice. That's smart offset right there, guys.
You have to be wearing a hat that identifies their local sports team. Okay.
Right.
Exactly.
So just to clarify why I was laughing at the beginning of this, the second you talked about the sports memorabilia you were wearing is when I was 8 years old and I paid no attention to sports whatsoever. My dad had bought me a Miami Dolphins jacket, and I was walking through the airport in Denver, and I got the worst looks you could imagine, and I didn't understand it because I'm 8 years old. So yeah, that's why that story was funny for me. But go ahead, Shae. You gonna take us out?
I sure am. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I want to give a very, very special thanks to Sam, Joe, and Rob. You guys are.
Are you? Listen, I gotta be bold here. I gotta be bold.
Be bold.
Are you gonna show the trailer?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. That's what we do on the way out. I promise.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So look, it's your first time here. We understand, Rob. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Sit down there. What are you doing?
I want all of you guys to go share this campaign out. Please go and back it if you haven't already. I know that this is on my list to back. I will be backing as soon as my paycheck hits again, because Shae got a little crazy at Tidewater Comic Con. Has to wait until that paycheck comes back before I get back again. But definitely make sure that you're getting your copy. Let's get this to funded. We've got 13 days left to do it. I want to see this shared out everywhere. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. You've been absolutely phenomenal.
And Shae, listen, I got one more thing. You were absolutely beautiful as my princess. Okay.
I tried really hard. Do you know how hard it is to find a triangle metal necklace? I was so shocked. Like, these used to be everywhere.
It's so nice to see something you created in human form. It's awesome. Thank you.
I'm so happy. Thank you so much. All right, let's go to that trailer, and you guys have a wonderful day. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. I got a really cool graphic novel coming out. What's a graphic novel? It's just a fancy name for a 54-page comic book. I want you to go to Indiegogo. Sam J. Jones Saves the Galaxy. That's right. Yeah, I've collaborated with Rob Archey and Joe Archey, and I'm excited about this. It's my very first 54-page graphic novel, comic book. We're looking for some warriors, some star troopers. That's right. We give you all the info there. I think when you go on, you sign in as a backer, you're going to get a really cool trading card, and you'll be up to date on everything. Indiegogo, Sam J. Jones Saves the Galaxy. Yeah.